Alright guys, we've got starter motor to do on this Cayenne, 2010 Cayenne GTS. So it's the 4.8 V8, 400 horsepower engine, non-turbo. It just looks like a bit of a timely job, doesn't look terribly difficult, so you know, hopefully show some tips and stuff along the way that will help somebody else tackle it. It'll take us the morning certainly, but you know, hopefully no dramas. So there's usually some plastics around the edge of the engine here, up the back as well. So we've taken them all off. I gave the car a service, so I had to get into the airboxes here, both sides. So we've got a wee bit of a head start on that, but it takes 5 minutes to get those off. Just some plastic screws to, you know, you twist them 90 degrees and everything lifts away. So, you know, we've got throttle body in the middle, inlet manifold needs to come off. These covers at the side need to come off that have got some kind of the link to the kind of PCV system, I think. Some, you know, some kind of oil vapor outlets and things like that there. So get those lifted out of the way. I'm hoping we can do it with the inlet manifold just lifted and raised rather than totally removed, but I'm sure there'll be plenty of clips and things and you know, electrical connectors to remove, you know, just bits and bobs, nothing major, you know, it's not a big heavy job. First thing we'll do is get the battery disconnected and then crack in. But I'm going to time lapse most of it because it's just bits and pieces. Anything that's big and you know, tricky, I'll stop and maybe explain what I'm doing a wee bit, but it should be pretty straightforward. So, we'd say 25 minutes, 30 minutes later, we've got, well, and I change the clothes as well. So we've got the, you know, the inlet manifold off and these, you know, covers that sit in the kind of breather system either side. And then we're in here, we can see the starter motor right in the back here. Just here. So, I mean, as far as I can see, obviously when you get that fuel rail out the way, clips, there's 2 bolts front and back holding it on. There's one in there somewhere, and then obviously the nuts onto the injectors themselves. And then once they're out the way, I don't see why we're not unbolting the starter motor. Pretty easy. Just obviously looks like a big job when you've got, you know, top section of the engine totally out the way, and this, you know, the cylinders are open here. So we'll get these plugged up so we can't drop anything in, and then just carry on. So I thought I'd just make a pause here and show you this next section. Obviously it looks a wee bit awkward to get the starter out, but I think once we get it loose we can rotate it that way and, you know, disengage it, and it might just give us enough room to come up the side of this coolant pipe here. Now one of the bolts is there, which you've no access going in that way. So I've had to go in like this, which I'm sure is the proper way to do it. I just wanted to show you that, you know, it is possible to get through there. We've got two extensions on that. You know, it's not quite underneath the starter motor, it's just off to the side here. I was trying to go underneath it first and it wasn't happening, then I realised it's actually up here that you need to be, so slightly to the side. This one here is pretty easy. Same, it's at the top, you can actually see it there. But, you know, the access for the same extensions, you know, just through here is no problem. So, see how we get on, get that loosened off, disengaged, and see if we can get it out of the way. I thought I would jump in and pause the video here just to show, you know, just a wee tricky part that I came up against. So obviously I'm trying to free the starter motor's unbolted just now. Well, the bolt's still on that side, but it should come out with it. But, you know, getting enough, you know, room on the cables here, the terminals to, you know, to actually get them off was difficult. So I've had to kind of strip this plastic housing at the back here with the harness going through it, just to release that from its, see it sits in this track here. Because it sits in there, so I just had to pull that out just so it gives me the, you know, the wiggle room to get it off the loop here, and then hopefully there we can kind of manoeuvre the starter out without taking this pipe out the way. I just thought I'd show you that because I don't think I would have got this terminal off of here without going there, but we'll see. There we go, she's out. Not too bad, a wee bit of footery there, just obviously posies and cables and things all over the place, but she does come out with a wee bit of twisting. So, well, that's it basically. Get this one back in, get everything put back together. The hard part's done. To be honest with you, like, difficulty wise, there's nothing in this, it's just time. It's just turn bolting things and getting some access to a couple of bolts that really are not difficult. The fuel, obviously, you need to be careful and try and catch as much of that. You don't want it spilling and puddling in the centre there, and you know, don't know what would happen there. It'd evaporate at some point, but you never want to take the chance of it getting too hot before it does evaporate. So I'll get this new one slipped in there, bolt it back in, get everything back together, and hope that she starts first time. Just time lapse this again. Well, that's it back together. I'll do a wee test start just now just to make sure everything's okay, but you know, I think to summarise a wee bit, not a difficult job in the slightest, just takes some time, it's quite footery. some tight squeezes getting the starter out and things like that. There's a few pipes to get back on the way in. They're a wee bit, you know, cramped and tight for space, but it's just time. Pretty easy. Let's hope it starts. Not bad. Just a wee bit of second there to get the fuel system up to pressure, I suppose, but starter sounded very strong compared to what it was before. It was quite lazy, and sometimes you turn the key and the whole thing just died, so you know, second start every time, but good. Could have been a lot of tears there if that didn't start. Hopefully this helped someday, you know, at the very least, just, you know, give you a bit of confidence just to jump in and try these things and get them done again. Not hard, time consuming, especially on a hot sunny day. This has been a hard one, well, not a hard one, a long one. See you later.